Hi, this is Maria Mandarino, and I'm back here today with Julie Jacobs. We're back to doing our Enneagram series on parenting. Julie is from Windhorse Counseling in Chandler, Arizona. Her website's windhorsecounseling.com. Julie, you want to tell us a little bit about your practice and anything you have going on right now?
What's going on? Everything, nothing, all at once. It feels a little chaotic, but it's all good. Well, let's see. Windhorse Counseling is in Chandler, Arizona. I've been in private practice for it feels like forever. But it's been quite a while. I'm trained in lots of different modalities and we do lots of different things here. We do some play therapy, sand tray therapy, art therapy, also EMDR therapy, some narrative work,
Mhm.
CBT, all that good stuff. Um, I am currently working on putting together a couple groups, one called Adulting,
Cool.
for young adults who just don't feel confident enough going out into the world because they maybe don't have
Mhm.
the skills that we don't seem to teach anymore.
Mhm.
And they have lots of questions that hold them back.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
getting out that information to them, helping them not be afraid to leave mom and dad's house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Also putting together a group for how are we haven't figured out a title yet, but for people who have been involved in a very high demand religion and what
Oh,
that looks like
interesting.
for them now. Um, so
Interesting.
I'm
Wow.
finding people who are needing support with that and have had quite a few clients that have expressed an interest in connecting with other people because that's something people aren't talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's not who do you tell,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's something if people are interested, I would love some feedback about that, what that would look like for them, if they
Mhm.
would be interested in participating in that kind of a support group.
Very cool. Very cool.
Um,
How would they reach out to you to connect?
yeah, they could reach out to my email, windhorsecounseling@outlook.com, or through my website. There's a way to message me.
Okay.
They could do it that way as well,
Okay.
or call us at
Uh-huh.
480-459-9994.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Sure, sure. Thank you. That sounds like fantastic and important and needed work. So,
Yeah,
thank
it's a
you.
difficult one to talk about though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
sure
you put
is.
a
Yeah.
sign outside saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, come talk about hard stuff."
Yeah.
With a group of other people
Um,
who are going through hard stuff.
Hard stuff too. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Awesome. So something else that I guess I should mention that we've talked about doing is having like a monthly group
Yes.
online. So putting that out there. I don't think I've mentioned that here yet. We've talked about it, but I don't think I've
Yeah, I
mentioned
don't
it
think we
here.
have.
Yeah. So it's something that's really in the early stages of discussion, but will be determined by what people might want to do. So yeah, combining Enneagram, Julie, bringing in the counseling piece, me bringing in the spiritual direction piece, and having a limited group of people. I'm kind of thinking around 8 or 10. It would have to be a
Mm,
committed monthly thing though. So whether or not it happens will be driven by the response. So
yeah,
putting that out there with people. So yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yep, whatever. We're here to do the hard stuff, whatever it is.
Uh-huh, or talk about how we do the hard stuff and support each other, right? Because
Yeah, it's all hard stuff.
it's all hard
And
stuff,
that's where
and
we are.
finding your tribe to support you isn't
Yep.
always easy.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So, so thank you for that. Okay. So today we are going to pick up with Enneagram Type 9 in the parenting series. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, or share on the episodes. This episode and any other episode you've watched. It's definitely helped to get this information out to more people and get that algorithm up. So thank you. So we decided to start doing this because, well, I do a lot of work with fertility and people that are planning to become parents or already new parents, and the stress of parenting and new relationship with the child whose Enneagram type is forming, relationships with partners, relationships with the in-laws, partners, family members, friend circles that have kids, don't have kids, things change, right? So,
Relationship with yourself
yeah,
changes too.
yes, thank you. Yeah. So, and not to say that the Enneagram is the only tool, but it's one of them. And
Mhm.
self-awareness really can help you with these transitions in relationships and to form healthier relationships. Um, so, and then knowing what's going to press the buttons of your unique type, that's another value of knowing your Enneagram, and not just knowing the number and knowing the things that define the number, but knowing where your options are within your Enneagram map, because you're not just one thing. You lead with one number, one personality type, but there's dynamics that happen within that Enneagram map. So that's also part of what we aim to do with this project, and help you find where your power is. So if we find out where your buttons are going to be pushed, let's figure out where your unique power is. And the Enneagram can do all of that. So type 9 are peacemakers, are mediators. They're in the body triad. They love harmony. They love harmonious relationships. So parenthood should just be a breeze for y'all, right? Um, and they're
A
also known to
breeze. Mhm. Tornado.
yeah, but
Good.
in that blissful state of before, right?
Yes.
Like the 9 is just saying, "Oh, I got this." Right?
Yes.
Because I do peace and harmony like nobody's business, right? And then
Oh.
yeah, right? And then the child comes along, baby comes along. Um so and nines like to go along to go along to get along, because if they just cooperate and yield to everybody's needs, all the different dynamics and the different relationships, right? Everybody's going to be happy.
Uh-huh.
So they think. Um, so that's what they hold up there. That's their expectation, their goals. So in their higher expression, they're peaceful people. They're great people to have in the room. We love our nines. They're self-aware when they're in the higher expression. They're inclusive, they bring people together. They're great at mediating any difficulties. If people aren't all quite on the same page, they can kind of sit down and bring them all together and get everybody to work together. They have a very healing energy. Um, Out of the 9 types, I would say they are the most patient, which is a blessing as a parent. Um,
Mhm.
and a blessing to a child as well, to have a patient, the evolved patient parent. They're welcoming and stable, which is also a great gift. And they are tremendous listeners. Um, in their lower expression, they can lose themselves in merging and trying to kind of get everybody working together. They can get lost in the fog of that experience. Um, They can become emotionally unavailable, and what that looks like is a checking out. We call it inertia. They can also do what we call narcotize, um, fall into like this lazy, sloth-like behavior, kind of just vegging out on the couch or in the hammock or, wherever, just kind of checking out peacefully, just peacefully checking out. Again, this is lower expression. They become indecisive for the sake of harmony. So rather than make a decision about we're going to do this today, it kind of becomes what does everybody else want to do? Because if we figure out what everybody else wants to do, we'll make everybody happy. That's their goal. They don't want the conflict. They want to avoid that conflict. Um, they can be stubborn because if something feels uncomfortable or it might look like conflict, well, hell, I'm not doing it. But they won't tell you that. They just won't do it. So very stubborn, can be passive aggressive, and if they're really pushed, they can get angry. It takes a lot to do that. Um, but there's usually this low simmering kind of anger going on with a 9 that's not doing their work.
I think that's almost always involved when someone's passive aggressive,
Yeah.
right? They're
Yeah.
trying to tell you that they're angry, but they don't want to tell you that they're angry. So let
Yeah.
me just show
Show
you
you.
in a nice way.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buttons,
And
buttons being pushed right now.
yeah, and that's I think where the awareness piece, the show me,
Yeah.
um, tell me. So if you don't know and you just do these behaviors because something's uncomfortable, I just don't want to do it, so I'm just checking out. But you don't actually know why you do that because you never learned your Enneagram.
Mhm.
Um, Once we know why, first of all, usually it feels terrible when we know why,
Yeah.
because it's not what we want to be. Nobody wants to be in their shadow,
Right.
right? Well, most people don't. The people who are watching this episode, for the most part, do not want to be living in their shadow. They want to be in their
Mhm.
higher expression. This is where we can be more actualized, effective, and happy. So yeah, so once we understand what we're doing and why, that we're just uncomfortable,
Mhm.
don't like conflict, want harmony at all costs, which usually means cost of themselves as a 9, their own
Mhm.
needs. Um, Once you realize, and then you can get in touch with why you're so angry and why you don't express that anger for the most part. And when you do, it's usually too late because then it's ugly anger. Um, so yeah, knowing that type means you can then ask for your needs to be met. And this goes for any of the 9 types.
Well, and also, if you know your type, right, and you know that your body, head, heart,
Mhm.
you check in with yourself in that way. So if I'm a 9, I go, wait, what am I feeling in my body that I need to
Mhm.
pay attention to, right?
Yeah.
And you need to
Yeah.
pay attention to all of it. But
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, oh, there's that feeling in my gut. What does that mean
Yeah.
to me?
Mhm.
Right? And if
Yep.
it's someone who's a heart one, oh, what am I feeling emotionally? That's where I want to check in.
Yeah.
Or the head people, it's not what am I feeling, it's what am I thinking about right
Mhm.
now?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
is my focus?
Yeah.
And that can help you get to the underneath part that's making you angry.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, and this may be my acupuncture brain, I think getting them to disperse it out of, if they're a body type, let's take it into one of the other centers. Let's
Mhm.
take it from the body, like into the heart. Let's filter it through the mind. So a lot of this to me, when you go to the eye doctor and it's like, is this better or is that better?
Right?
Kind of put those kind of filters, put those lenses on, you're more than your body,
Mhm.
right? You do have a heart. You do, and 9s have access because they're in that harmony triad with the 3, 6, and the 9. So they have the easiest way to hop around and get to the heart and get to the mind as well as the body. But filter it out. Don't just stay in the one place. Um, because first of all, that's incredibly unbalanced for any of us to do that. Um, so use all your resources, the head, the heart, the mind, the head, the heart, the body. Um, so yeah, I think that's good, like bringing somatics into what am I feeling? Another good question is, what happened the last time? What was going on the last time I felt this in my body?
Mhm.
How did I integrate one of the other centers, or how did I not integrate one of the other centers where I could have?
Mhm.
Yeah, know what's going on in yourself so you can, I would say, monitor and adjust accordingly. Um, and and I'm going to go back to what I said before about knowing what your needs are, because I think when you become a parent, there's this unspoken rule: you're not supposed to have needs anymore.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I have my thoughts about that as a spiritual director, but as a counselor, like, tell me how that works.
Well, it's not ideal parenting, right? But
Yeah.
we think it is. Like, I'm just so selfless and it's all about my child. But what are you teaching that child
Mm-hmm.
when they grow up that they're the center of the universe, that everything's
Mhm.
about them
Yeah.
until they're a parent and then everything is about somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
That's not balance, right?
Yeah.
So that for most of us, when we're not balanced, we're uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
So, recognizing that I think is really important.
Yeah.
You can't always be all about somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's not realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the other words that I find that are really helpful, although it hurts, is what makes you think you're so important, you're so valuable that you can control everybody else around you's happiness.
Yeah.
You can't,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
we have to teach people to self-soothe, to create their own happiness, to make their own decisions based on what's best for them,
Yeah.
not living for everybody else, because then you're not truly fulfilled and happy. And everybody else is actually controlling you.
You.
Well, you think
Mm-hmm.
you're controlling everybody else and
Yeah.
creating harmony.
Right. Right. Yeah. And then there's more fuel
Hmm.
to throw on that fire of anger. Yeah.
For sure.
Hmm.
Which doesn't come out like in a healthy way.
Right. Yeah.
It's not, okay, I got to stop.
Yeah.
This isn't working.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
also recognizing that being indecisive for the sake of harmony or wanting everybody to be happy, not possible.
Hmm. Right.
So you're just extending the discomfort,
Yeah.
right? You're not
Absolutely.
actually solving a problem there. You're
No.
waiting for everybody to come to the same consensus. Sometimes, as the parent,
Yeah.
the adult in the room,
Hmm.
your job is to say, this is what we're doing. This is when we're doing it.
Hmm.
If you don't want to participate, you don't have to, but XYZ, whatever
Right.
it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sometimes being a parent means you are the one who has to be decisive. Because if kids are living with no boundaries and no rules and they feel chaos,
Hmm.
they
Yeah.
don't go, this is so cool. I have an opportunity to say what I want.
Yeah.
It's
There's no structure.
nothing's certain, no
Yeah.
structure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's pretty scary. And bearing in mind you don't know what's forming in your child's Enneagram at that point,
Right?
but whatever is forming, because whatever else is going on that's helping to form that type, um, forming any, how do I say this? Shaping any Enneagram type in an unstructured environment that it's just going to feel I guess that's a way to say it. It can feel unsafe in
Unsafe.
9 developing ways
Uh-huh.
to any of those 9. It's going to bring out something in a lower expression of one of the 9 forming types.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so stress and security types. The 9 will, in stress, look like an unhealthy 6. And this is where you're going to lose your power, as an individual and as a parent. Um, Kids are going to sense that, first of all.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
mhm, yeah.
Kids and
Um,
dogs.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I mean, it's they've gotta go on their instincts. Their sphere of experience is so limited that they're watching every cue that you're giving them.
Uh-huh.
So what pheromones is the stressed out 6 gonna be giving off, right? Or the stressed
Uh-huh.
9 looking like a stressed 6? Suspicious, fearful, anxious, untrusting. Um, that's not a cool environment to be growing up in.
No. That
Yeah.
creates a lot of anxiety.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I can't say it enough with the 6. The journey of the 6 is the journey of faith. Um, and I mean real faith. faith that's based on conviction is the gift of the 6. Um, Not that pie in the sky, spiritual bypassing stuff. That's not this energy. So the anxiety and the fear is just the total opposite of that, just deep, faithful knowing. That's the flip side of the stressed out 6 energy.
Mhm.
So, and again, when we know our Enneagram, I personally think we can make that choice. Some teachers say that's not how it works, but I think if we are aware, we can. But what naturally happens with the 9 in their security type now, this is when they're moving towards something they want to attain or achieve. That 9 is going to look like a 3, and that's where their power is going to naturally happen. So 3 being the performer. I should have said 6 before, on the stress line. 6 is the loyal skeptic. For the security line, when the 9 goes to 3, they're the performer, the achiever. Um, and that's where they're going to find their power. It's where they're going to look powerful. Um, that 3 energy and the higher expression knows their value. They have confidence, not arrogance, confidence, and they're self-assured, within themselves. They're encouraging. They're kind of like a cheerleader energy. I don't know if cheerleader is the right word, but a good coach, a really good, encouraging coach. And they're inspiring, right? So, and again, that's where you're going to gain your power. I'm going to go out on a limb and, you know, jump in and tell me what you think here, but I think it's where you gain your credibility as a parent too, in your security line, knowing your value, being curious, confident, self-assured, encouraging, being a good coach, being inspiring. Like, to me, there's a credible, when you compare it to the option of the stressed out 9 looking like the 6 of being anxious, fearful, suspicious. Like, where's your credibility going to happen, right? It's going to be in that confident energy of the 3. So again, awareness. Am I in my power? Have I lost my power? What caused me to lose that power? What caused me to find it? Um,
Did I give it away
yeah,
or was it taken?
yeah, yeah. And how long ago and how many times after? Yeah, because that's common for the 9. Yeah. Because they're sacrificing so much in the hopes of just making peace. I just want everybody to be happy.
Mhm.
That's always their thing. I just want everybody to be happy.
Why can't everybody
And
be happy? Why can't I
oh,
make everybody happy?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And which brings me to my favorite 9 line. You are not pizza. You can't make everybody happy. Okay. Um,
Mhm.
it's an important thing. These gets to my concerns for the 9. Because and I say this around all the types, with regard to parenting. What are you modeling? What are you shaping? Again, that child's Enneagram type is being formed for the first 21 years of their life. What are you teaching your child? Um, if you're in the low side of your 9, is it inertia, sloth, laziness, checking out, numbing out, narcotizing, having that extra beer so you don't have to deal with grandma, um, who might be judging or criticizing everything you do as a parent. So yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna take this beer and go in a hammock and, you know, whatever the behavior looks like. What are you teaching your child when conflict arises, because the one thing I can promise you, as much as you don't like conflict, it ain't going away.
No, it's not.
Um, it ain't going away in your life, and your child is going to have to, everybody's child is going to have to learn skills around facing and dealing with conflict.
Yes.
So what are you teaching?
And I have a strong feeling about this, um, especially about how we raise female people,
Mm,
right?
mhm,
I know that we
mhm,
do it to men too, but there's
mhm.
there's all the society stuff,
Yeah.
right? And as a mom, if you are allowing everybody else's needs to be more important than yours, that's what you are showing your daughter, right? And then who and what is your daughter going to choose
Mm,
for
mhm.
partners?
Yeah.
And is that what you want? Do you want your child always making everybody else happy?
Mm,
Because that doesn't look like, oh, it's great. My everybody's happy. They got what they wanted for the holiday. And so yay, and we're
yeah.
having everybody's favorite meal for dinner.
Yeah.
No, the
Yeah.
reality is I don't want you doing this, and you will stay home with me on this particular day because I'm not comfortable with you leaving.
Mm,
And then that person who was raised making everybody else happy is sacrificing their needs and their self.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that those are important words for lots of parents,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's the message
Absolutely.
your kid gets from that, not
Yeah.
how nice that we're all in harmony.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Because it
you
doesn't
need
feel
to
like
sacrifice.
harmony. It
Mm-mm.
doesn't feel like harmony to anyone else. And I don't think it feels like harmony to the nine either.
No.
But and this is where when I talk about the dance and you're not just your number, so that child, that little girl, if that nine is living in their stress type and coming off as an unhealthy six, right? Little girl only knows fear, anxiety, suspicion. So how might that tumble out? I mean, again, there's nine possibilities. Well, let's look at the possibility of, well, I'm not safe. The world isn't safe. I got to find somebody who's going to keep me safe. What if they end up with an unhealthy eight? Um, I could see that being a natural progression. Let's take the parent who, instead of living in their stress type, develops their Enneagram, develops their security type, and can move into a high three and exhibit value, confidence, being self-assured, being inspirational, right? That person can choose that person chooses from power. Again, getting to that vibration of your security type is where you find your power, right? That child has been around healthy power, healthy empowerment. When you're empowered, you choose from strength, not from fear or needing to fill something that's empty. You're coming from strength.
Mhm.
And whether you're the nine that's able to go to your high three, whether you're the nine that's just in your higher expression as a nine, um, it just gets back to that question: what are you teaching that child, and how are they going to get their needs met when they're older, based on what they see each and every day? It's important stuff for any of the types. That's why I really
Mhm.
do feel that this, because there's so many transitions in life, but one of the first big ones is parenthood. And if your Enneagram's going to get tested, um, I'd like to see people doing well on the test, because it's not just your test. Um, so yeah, and the other piece of it with the nine is, when it gets to be too much and you go into that low nine of numbing out and you know, peace out, and you can like peace out, like, and just kind of evaporate off the planet and nobody even knows you're in the room anymore, right? Stop and remember to just show up. And that doesn't mean that you get it 100% right, because that almost scares me when people get anything 100% right.
Uh-huh.
But show up, make the effort, because that sure beats the option of just checking out, numbing out, going shopping, going to the mall, making everybody happy at the mall, whatever it is, the perfect vacation, the Disney World, yeah, just show up,
Yes.
and be real.
Yes. Because kids and dogs know.
Yes.
And if you're not sure, pay attention to how your dog feels or how your
Yeah,
kid feels. Like,
yeah,
what's going on with them?
yeah.
Is that a reflection of my energy? It often is.
Yeah,
It really is.
absolutely.
And sometimes we don't know what
Yeah,
we're feeling or what we're
yeah.
doing. And if we look at the people around us, we go,
Oh,
oh,
that's why they're making me crazy. It's me.
uh-huh, uh-huh. I'm making them feel unsafe or
Yeah.
scared or sad or
Mhm.
confused, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mom
absolutely.
usually wants everybody to be happy, but today she's totally not engaged. She's not involved, and we
Yeah,
have to figure it out on our own.
yeah,
What's going on?
yeah, yeah,
My world is
yeah.
unstable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's kind of one of the saddest things about the nine, because all they really want is to create that peaceful
Stability,
safety, and
harmony.
yeah, yeah, and have keep everybody safe and happy. And they completely destabilize, the ride. Um, so yeah, self-awareness, realize what you're doing when you're tapped out, pressed, stressed, um, where your parenting buttons are getting pressed.
Mm.
So, all
'Cause they're
right.
going to be.
Yeah, yeah. And and I want to back up to the high side before we end this energy. It's this episode, because the energy of the nine, the high energy of the nine, I feel like I just beat up on the nine. So healthy nines, peaceful energy, self-aware, inclusive, mediating, healing, mediating, but not sacrificing reality. Okay. Good, healthy mediating, healing energy, patient parents. They're wonderful. They're welcoming, they're stable, they're great listeners. You can make every difference in a kid's life when you
Until
bring
they're
those
not.
things. Right.
They are the best, right?
Right. Yeah. 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 And the flip
They're
side of the
good at
coin.
showing up.
Yeah. The flip
Mhm.
side of the coin, and I say this about nines, the way they check out is almost violent. And when nines hear that, they're like, no, I'm all about peace. No, you can be some of
Uh-huh.
the most violent, quietly, peacefully violent people by just not being, by checking out. Yeah.
Great. Your silence
So
is now deafening.
yes, yeah, yeah. And scary to a kid.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep. Alrighty, so if you are a nine and a parent, and would like to comment, we'd love to hear your comments and thoughts on the episode. If you would like to be, and this goes for if you're a nine or any of the types, we're still hoping to interview some types. We're actually going to have a type one on coming up in a few episodes. But we'd like to get more voices in the interviews. So if you would like to be on an episode kind of talking about your awareness of your Enneagram type and how it's affected you as a parent, reach out. We'd love to have you on. Please remember again to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we will see you next time. Again, in the show notes, I'll have all the links. Julie's windhorsecounseling.com, mariamandarino.com. I don't think I mentioned that I'm an acupuncturist in the West Phoenix Valley, spiritual director, and Enneagram practitioner as well. do a couple of other things too, Bach Flower remedies. So, yep, it's all on the website. So, and we will catch you next time. Thanks for being here. And thank you,
Thank you.
Julie.
You
Okay.
bet.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye now.